So hey, what's happening, everybody? How's it going? In the chat, tell me where you live. I want to know where you live. If you're in team chat somewhere, go ahead and pop a quick message in. Let them know that this is going to get started. Our goal is to be on and off of here in the next 25 minutes, but I'm really, really excited about this call. I've had the pleasure to be on the road over the last 6 days throughout the Northeast, and it's been tons and tons of fun just getting face-to-face with a lot of people who are experiencing just amazing things from ketones. And it's a reminder that our conversation is powerful and that people out there right now need what we have more than ever. The COVID-19 turned into the COVID-40 as I'm learning, going from place to place, and just the lack of energy and the lack of maybe even hope for getting healthy is just all over right now. And knowing that what we have our hands on is so powerful and can truly impact people to a point where tonight, when we heard story after story after story, just from people saying like, literally, this has saved my life, was powerful. So our goal tonight is to actually talk about some upcoming things. We have an opportunity to not just have an event when, the Keto Dad, Nick Martinez, comes to town, but actually to use that energy and that activity as an excuse to invite, an excuse to get this in front of people so that they can hear the stories that I'm hearing right now, so that they can hear kind of the information of how powerful this is for their body. And really, as a team, the goal is to just not make this a weak thing, but make this just a part of our DMO. Hey, did you have a Keto Life Party recently? So tonight we're going to talk about a subject that I'm really excited about. It's Keto Life Parties. You probably saw a pulse message come through that showed a flyer that said East Coast versus the West Coast. You probably saw 2 different dates on it with a couple different times. So we want to go through and kind of talk about what that is and why, and then give you some specifics on how you can participate, because I think you're going to be really excited about kind of just what this is. So before I talk any further, I have my good friend, Coach Rebecca, who's going to share with you just a little bit. I just got done, literally was in New Hampshire with Coach Rebecca on Saturday, and we had an incredible time. So one of the things that we're going to do with this call and with this next week is really encourage, hopefully, and inspire you guys to host a simple party at your house, a simple event. We call it a Keto Life Party. Think of it as shake up ketones and drink them with some friends. But we want to encourage you to participate and do that on your own, where you get to plug into the community as you do it. So Coach Rebecca, what's happening? Would love for you to just come off mute and share with us real quick, kind of why you're excited about the fact that you just did this, but what you're just as excited about coming up here this next week.
Oh, hey, hi, hello, how are you? I am fired up about this. You see me East Coast, West Coast, and we got Jody on here, who's like the 2 of us, we butt heads, and she's on the other side. So that's what gets me wicked excited. But what's really, really awesome about this is that we have the opportunity to take all the pressure off of us for sharing the product, sharing the conversation, and all we have to do is hang out with our friends. It's so much fun, especially right now, because in this day and age, in this time in the world, it's crazy, and people are just seeking community, right? A lot of people didn't get out of their houses for a long time. A lot of people didn't get to go and do things. So we get the opportunity to create space for people to come, a safe environment for people to come and hang out, to have that connection with one another, and to be in unity, community, right? And also to learn about this powerful technology from the experts themselves, not us. We don't have to share all the details. We don't have to be the ones giving them all the information. And when they hear it from somebody else's mouth, a lot of times it sounds different. So even if they've already tried ketones, at the KLP that we had when Nick was here in New Hampshire, someone had come to the KLP who tried 1 packet of ketones a year ago. And when she showed up at the KLP, she ended up signing up as a website customer that day. So that just goes to show you can invite anyone and everyone to this, somebody that you just met. It doesn't matter who it is. Just tell everyone to come over, come hang out, right? Have some little snacky things out and just make it a fun time for people to come together. So they are so, so powerful because they get to experience the community. And I don't know about you, drop one if the community's ever done anything for you in your life. Drop a 1 in that comment box, because it's saved my life. And they get to also experience education about the product while tasting different flavors. They get the whole package for nothing. They just show up at your house, right? And I'm super, super excited about what we're doing here, because it's going to allow us to have multiple different parties going on within our teams, right? So I'm going to host one. I know my girl Emily's on here. She's going to host one. I know my girl Nikki's on here. She's going to host one. So we have not just all of the promoters within our teams hosting them, but also our customers. We're having them invite 2 or 3 people over. They're gonna plug in, put the KLP up on the TV or open up an iPad, press play, whatever, log into Zoom, and they're all gonna have them as well. So this gives us the opportunity to be in 1,000 places all at once, right? Like, we don't have to physically be there for us to do the presentation and share the information, but we're going to be able to press play or plug in from wherever you are and get the same presentation and information. So super, super excited about this. It's an opportunity that you guys really don't want to miss out on utilizing, because you can have your entire team, every single person, every customer that you've ever enrolled, anybody, you can have them having a KLP in their own home with 2 or 3 people. Imagine if you had 5 customers invite 2 or 3 people over and they all got to see the information. That's this ripple effect that Prove It has. So super, super fired up about it, Nick. Thank you so much for coming up here. We love the New England or Northeast tour you're doing. And I'm fired up about this competition. Watch out, Jody.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Rebecca. I love that. Like, this goes beyond just you having all of your promoters over and inviting all of your customers over, right? The purpose of this is how many living rooms can we get into over the course of the next week? And hopefully that will seed some activity where we do it again and we do it again and we do it again. Because if you think about it, if you invite a customer to come and they bring a friend with them, that's awesome. They're going to have a referral, right? The friend will leave probably excited about ketones. But what if, and this may not work for all the customers, but what if you could have 3 of your customers each host their own party where they're inviting 5 of their friends or 6 of their friends. And then maybe you went to one of the customers' houses to support it. Right now, you've just kind of helped them share it with more people. You've increased this, like, the surface area of who's experiencing or hearing about ketones. That's how this grows. Like this, that's how this networks. So I'm going to have Jody come on. And I love Jody's story in the beginning of her building this business. I remember when Jody Scheibe first got started in Prove It. And I remember her talking about her calendar, and she literally was in somebody's home like every night for 30 days straight. She was committed. She was ready to charge, and she wanted this. And she literally, like, somebody would enroll as a new customer or promoter, and she'd be at their house and inviting their friends over, shaking up ketones. Like, and she did it over and over and over again, and it seeded an amazing business. But Jody, I'd love for you to cover some of the details. I know there was a flyer that we had pulsed, Maddie Pulse, you saw. We put some details in our promoter group, but kind of go through the ins and outs of what we should do next off of this Zoom to make sure that we kind of take advantage of hosting parties and take advantage of the virtual KLP format.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. So just for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jody Scheibe. I'm in San Diego, California. I'm a mom to 3 teenagers. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had no previous experience in this type of industry. Drop a 1 if this is your first time ever doing this, okay? And the reason this is important, because when I go into some of the instructions about the Keto Life Party, I want you all to be thinking, wow, if she did that with KLPs, I can too. 1, 1, lots of 1. So I had no previous experience in this business, in this industry. I kind of called my biggest skepticism ever BS on ketones, but then someone got them in my mouth, right? So how many of you on here have never done a KLP? Just put like never done, or I should make that faster. I should have done a different number. Just put an N for no and a Y for yes if you've done one. Let's just see where we're at. Oh, we've got a lot of N's, Nick. Coach Becca, we got a lot of ends. This is so awesome. And the reason I say this is so awesome is because what we are doing together as a team is the biggest gift, the biggest tool for you to move your business forward. How many of you would like to have double the business you have now next month? Me, right? How many of you would like to have triple the business you have now in a couple months? Well, the KLPs and the steps we're going to take to put these together over the next week will give you that. So all I knew to do when I got started is what? Get ketones in people's mouths, right? We do that with trial packs. We can do that faster with KLPs. So how many of you are aware of that awesome flyer? Thank you, Maddie V. It's on the pulse. It's in a couple chats. If you're not aware of this Keto Life Party, East versus West, West is going to win. Yes, sorry, Coach Becca, I love you. But if you're not aware of this flyer, it's in your Pulse app. Check it out. If you're visual, detail oriented, I am. So we're doing this little contest. You guys like contests? I mean, you're not competitive at all, are you? I see some faces on there. Like I see Heather Adams, like it's on. You are not. Nope. We've got a bunch scheduled. Katrina and I, we were talking right up until the Zoom started. We got big plans out here on the West Coast. I'm just saying. So here's a few steps. Get out a pen and paper, you guys. I'm going to give you some steps on what you're going to do from here. By the way, if you have any questions, put them in the chat as we go, because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I saw a lot of ends, so this is brand new. So let me just recap. We're doing a week-long blitz of keto life parties. We're going to give you 2 dates where you can choose to have them, invite people over, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. And you'll have something people can tune into live on those 2 nights. Now, when you're looking at this flyer, say your son has soccer on Blitz 1 on the, I know my glasses on Thursday, September 23rd. Say, oh, my son has soccer. I can't do it that night. Blitz 2, Tuesday, September 28th. Oh, you know what? That's my anniversary. Can't do it that night, or that's my birthday. That's okay. You guys can still schedule a KLP anytime throughout that week. Maybe Friday works. Maybe Saturday works. Maybe it's after church on Sunday. Maybe it's with your Bible study group on Monday night. That's all good. We're going to have a pre-recorded segment for you guys to play at your keto life parties if you can't do it on those 2 days. Everyone following? Give me jazz hands if you're following. I just like making you do that. I knew you guys were following because that was simple, but that was super fun. Okay, so step 1 is to get your date scheduled. Okay, get your date scheduled. If you can do it on Blitz 1 date, that's the 23rd. Do it then. If you can do it on the 2nd date, do it then. If you can do it any day in between, do it then. This doesn't have to be a 4-hour party. If you want it to be a 4-hour party, it totally can. But I had 3 kids. They were 11, 13, and 15 when I started this business. So even though I was in other people's living rooms a lot, I wasn't there for 4 hours every night, right? It could take an hour or 2 for you guys to shake up ketones, get them in people's mouths, give them an experience, and share your story. And in our case, press play on a video we're going to have for you. So step 1, decide on a date. How many of you already have a date scheduled? Put me in the chat. We know you do, Heather. Shauna, you gonna have one? You gonna have one out there in Vegas? Mitzi, okay, good. Me, okay. So if you don't have a date scheduled yet, before you go to bed tonight, this is my step 1 challenge, put a date in your calendar, schedule it, okay? Don't mess up good for perfect. Don't overthink it. Don't think you got to cross calendars with everyone you know to see if they can go. No, if it works for you, pick that date. Okay. Ready for step 2? You're going to invite. Now you may think, who am I going to invite to my keto life party? Well, since I saw a lot of brand new people, what about your neighbors? They already live next to you. All they have to do is walk over to your house, right? When you see them taking the trash out or putting the mail in, hey, what are you doing next Tuesday night? Can you hop on by? I've got some stuff I want you to check out. So neighbors, right? Always a good idea. I think that's really cool. Your Facebook friends that live local, your customers. How many of you have local customers? How many of you have local customers that have never maybe tried some of the, like sweet tea lemonade, and you might have that at your house, but they've never had it yet, right? Just invite your local customers. I don't know if you caught what Nick said, because this is really key. How many of you have customers that don't live by you, or maybe have a whole different set of friends than you? Maybe they live 20 minutes away and they know all the soccer moms. We're going to reach out to them too. This is kind of like a step 3. And we're going to ask our customers, hey, we're doing this really super fun thing. It's called a Keto Life Party Blitz. I'd love for you to host one this week. And Nick, you got to go over, I think we're doing prizes and stuff like that, but I'd love for you to host one this week. All you have to do is invite a few people over and press play on a video. Here's the 2 dates that we're doing, or what day works for you. So don't underestimate if you have customers that live far away. Imagine, I just want you to imagine if you had 3 customers also doing a keto life party the same night you're doing it, and they get 2 to 3 people there. Let's see, I don't see any questions coming in the chat, but I'm just going to address kind of the elephant in the room when people ask this question for keto life parties. What if no one comes? I'm just kidding. Yeah. What if no one comes? Awesome. And the reason I say awesome is because that happened to me my first time. I invited over 20 people. No one showed up. To the very last minute, one guy showed up. If no one comes and you invited 20 people, let me ask you this. How many conversations did you have about ketones when you were inviting? 20. Do you think that's not going to advance your business? Do you think that's not the more conversations you have? So don't worry about if one person shows up, you beat me, okay? Don't worry if 20 people show up. If you get 3 or 4, 5, 6, perfect. Don't mess up good for perfect. Remember, it's kind of something you can do over and over and over. Wouldn't it be amazing if you choose Thursday the 23rd and you invite your neighbor who hasn't really been doing what you're doing or drinking ketones? She comes over and she's like, yeah, I love this. Wow. She's hearing stories from other people there. Then you say to your neighbor, hey, why don't we do this again on the 28th? And you invite some friends. So that's how the keto life parties can go ripple to ripple. I mean, if you want to be an overachiever, you could do them 5 nights in a row. That's cool. Yes, that is an awesome opportunity. Coach Becca just put some good wording in there. So maybe you have 2 different date options. And also, you guys stay tuned. I went a little bit long on my 3 steps, but it's get the date scheduled, get the date, just commit to it. Just do it. I promise you it's going to move your business forward. Promise. If you're nervous, just reach out to the person you're working with, and they'll have done it. Somebody had done it. 2, you're going to invite people. And then I added this 3rd step that Nick didn't tell me earlier. 3, I want you to tell your customers about it. I want you to tell your customers, and I challenge you to see how many of your customers will be doing their own as well as you doing theirs. I think that's where the compound effect comes in. It's kind of like you got the 5 franchises working all at the same time, but you're only working at one of them, but they're all paying you at the same time, right? They're all working for you. And then stay tuned, because over the next 48 hours, I was gonna say 24, but I'm gonna say 48. Nick's laughing. Maybe 48 hours. There's going to be, we're gonna put out a training video on how to do the keto life parties. I know we have, is that what we're doing, Nick? I know we have some resources on the Better Start Here Facebook page that if you type and then search bar keto life parties, I know I've done a video on how to do it, what to have out, stuff like that. But we're gonna do some new training stuff. We're gonna give you everything you need to have it. The bottom line is you set the date, you invite, you talk about it with your customers, you have them set the date and they invite, and then just repeat. So hopefully I didn't miss anything there, Nick.
I think you nailed it, Jody. That was fantastic. Thank you.
Letting you know, Tuesday the 28th will be the biggest night, because that's when I'm having mine.
I mean, is West Coast or East Coast going to win? This is all, they're saying East Coast over here. This is all came about just because we were talking about keto life parties last week on our team kind of champ call. And I'm like, well, who do you think would have more? And it just became this big thing. So we're like, we're going to do a whole team-wide competition. So let it be fun. Let it fuel you. Let it just remind you how simple this is. And one thing that I'm often reminded of is the number of people that we don't tell about ketones. And sometimes it's the people that we're closest to. A lot of them are the people that you can invite to your house. So the reason that we do this is not just to have people come over, but it gives you an excuse, right? It gives you a reason to pick up the phone and say, hey, Aunt Susie, what are you doing Tuesday night? Can you come to my house and learn about these ketones I've been drinking? Well, you've probably not told Aunt Susie about ketones. She needs them, right? More than that random person you just messaged on Facebook. So allow this to be a catalyst to reach out and invite more people. Allow this to be an excuse to send a message, because if you're doing that consistently, then guess what? Like, people are learning about ketones. So like Jody said, there'll be some resources. Don't get wrapped up around the axle. It's not complicated. Don't overcomplicate the simple. Literally, it's ketone, ice, and water. I don't care if you have one flavor, if you have 8 flavors, it just does it. As long as you have some ketones, you're good to go. And we're going to have a great, just simple training video that you'll be able to check out if maybe you've never done this. And Jody, one of the most eye-opening things that you just asked was, have you done a Keto Life Party? And I'm amazed at how new we all are. A lot of us started in this interesting time, right? And maybe this isn't something that you've done yet. So I'm excited for you to do this for the first time. So thanks so much for being on tonight. Coach Becca, thanks for sharing. Jody, that was awesome steps that you gave us. And I'm excited for these to come. Thursday night's going to be amazing. Tuesday and everywhere in between will be great. So we'll talk to you all soon. Appreciate you and have a great night.